I was 8 years old when my dad disappeared. My stepfather moved in 3 months later. 10 years later that afternoon, I dug out a house book from a cardboard box in the attic. Blue cover, gilded lettering. I opened it. In the owner's column, there is only one name. Lin Jixia. That's me. There is no name for my mother. There was no name for my stepfather. Just me. One. My mother made me look through that box the night before. She stood at the door of my room, holding a bank card in her hand. Jixia, where did you put your ID card? I'm packing my bags. There are still 10 days until college starts. I was admitted to Beijing Normal University. More than 1,000 kilometers away from home. I don't know. It seems to be in that old box in the attic. Go find it. What are you looking for? Do something. I looked at her. What's up? Her smile faltered. About the house. What house? This house. She paused. Don't you want to go to college away from home? This house at home needs to be transferred to make it easier to manage. Transfer? To whom? Give it to Mom. She smiled. Who else can I give it to? I said nothing. Jixia listened to Mom. She walked in and sat next to my bed. It costs money for you to go to college. Our family has not been well off in recent years. If you transfer the house to Mom, she can mortgage the loan and help you pay for your tuition. I looked at the bank card in her hand. That card is not for me. Mom, I put down the clothes in my hands. I have a scholarship. I can pay for the tuition myself. That's not okay. Her voice changed. You are a girl outside alone. If something happens, this house will be used for your brother's marriage in the future. Use? I repeated the word. Your brother will go to high school next year. He will spend money on everything from college to marriage. This is your father and I's house, and it should be left to your brother in the future. I laughed. Mom, I said, this house belongs to Dad. That's what we have in common, too. Dad's name is gone. 10 years ago. Her expression changed. What are you talking about? Jixia, you've been talking about it for 10 years since Dad has been gone. Do you know what Mom is thinking about? She stood up and walked to the door. Look back. Find her ID card. You and your mother will go to the housing authority tomorrow. After that, she left. I sat on the edge of the bed. The room was extremely quiet. I have remembered her expression for a long time before she left. She doesn't look like a mother who wants to raise her daughter's tuition fees. She seemed like someone who was afraid that I would know something. I was 8 years old when my dad disappeared. She never mentioned the house to me in 10 years. It happened that the night before I was going to another place, she came to me and asked for my ID card. Want me to transfer ownership. I lay in bed and didn't sleep all night. At dawn the next day, I went to the attic. The dusty cardboard box is in the innermost part. No one has touched it for 10 years. I moved it down and opened it. There's some old stuff in there. Dad's old watch. Dad's work permit. A family photo me, Dad, Mom, I'm 4 years old. There is also a craft paper portfolio. The portfolio is not sealed. I open. The ID card is inside. My ID card. There is a blue book next to it. I opened it. Lin Jixia. Independently owned. Registration time, March 14th, 2016. 2016. The year my dad disappeared. March 14th. The month my dad disappeared. My hands started shaking. I read the house book over and over 3 times. Cover, inside pages, remark. Without my mother. Without my stepfather. Just me. Owner, Lin Jixia. Co-owners, none. I sat on the attic floor. Sunlight streamed in through the small window on the roof. The air is full of gray. 10 years. My stepfather has lived in this house for 10 years. My stepbrother was born and raised to the age of 9 in this house. This house was never theirs. It's always just mine. I lowered my head and held the house book to my chest. No crying. Just breathe slowly. 10 years ago, a month before Dad disappeared. He filed a house book. Only my name was written. I was only 8 years old at that time. Why did he do this? 2. I took off my ID card. I left the house book in the attic. I put it in another cardboard box and covered it. Mom is waiting for me in the living room. Found it. Found it. I handed her my ID card. She took it and put it on the coffee table. How did you sleep last night? Fine. That's good. She looked at me. Mom will take you to the housing authority this afternoon. I didn't say much. I went back to my room and closed the door. Turn on the computer. Log in to the official website of the Real Estate Registration Center. I enter my ID number. Wait a few seconds. The result jumped out. Real estate in my name, one place. The real estate license number matches the one I found. House use, residential. Building area, 126 square meters. Owner, Lin Jixia. Shared status, separately owned. Registration date, March 14th, 2016. How to obtain gift. Giveaway. Donor, Lin Jianheng. That's my dad's name. My dad gifted it to me a month before he disappeared. I stared at the screen for a long time. There is also a line of small text at the bottom of the screen. To inquire about the property transfer record, please bring your ID card to the window. I looked at that line of writing. I grabbed my coat. Put your phone and ID card in your pocket. When I came downstairs, Mom was in the kitchen. Where to go? I'm going to get something from school. The housing authority needs to go before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll be back before 2 o'clock. I went out and went directly to the housing authority. There were about 10 people lined up at the window. I was next to me in line, and an hour later it was my turn. Hello, I would like to check the transfer records of my property. The staff took my ID card and housebook and clicked on the keyboard a few times. You own this house. What do you need to check? Has anyone touched this house in the past 10 years? Ever moved? Mortgage, transfer, any changes? She knocked a few more times. The screen turned to me. Nothing has changed, she said. You are the sole owner from March 14th, 2016 to today. Has anyone tried transferring ownership? She glanced at me. Have. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. 2019. Who? The guardian applied once, in the name of guardianship of a minor. Jean Lihua. Rejected? Right. Why? The donor, Mr. Lin Jianhong, has additional clauses in the donation contract. She pulled up the screen and showed it to me. A scanned copy. It was a handwritten additional clause. I recognized the handwriting. It's my dad's. This property is donated to Lin Jixia as an independent property. Before Lin Jixia reaches the age of 18, no one may transfer, mortgage, sell, or dispose of the property in any name, including his mother Zhang Lihua. Violators will be investigated according to law by Mr. Chen Wenxuan, the guardianship lawyer appointed by me. There is a signature below the additional terms, Lin Jianhong. There is also a lawyer's signature, Chen Wenxuan. Date, March 14th, 2016. I looked at the screen. There is another thing. The staff brought up another page. Your father left a trusteeship statement back then, which is on file with us. Declaration of what? If the client, Mr. Lin Jianhong, has an accident, disappears, or dies, the ownership of this property will not be affected and will continue to be independently registered in the name of Lin Jixia. The designated guardianship lawyer Chen Wenxuan will manage the relevant rights and interests in accordance with the law until Lin Jixia reaches the age of 18. Chen Wenxuan. I'm not familiar with this name, but I stared at the words custody lawyer for a long time. Excuse me, can I have a copy of these materials? Can. She printed a copy. Stamped. Hand it to me. I put the copy away. Get out of the housing authority. The afternoon sun is very poisonous. I stood on the steps and looked at the copy in my hand. 10 years ago. My dad completed the property transfer, completed the additional clauses, and found a good lawyer. Then it disappeared. 3 months later, my stepfather moved in. Is my mother. I dare not think about it. But an idea has popped up. Dad didn't disappear for no reason. The phone rang. Mom called. Jixia, where are you? It's 1:30. I'll be right back. Don't delay. I have to do something in the afternoon. Mom. The housebook was not found. There was silence on the other end of the phone for 2 seconds. What did you say? There is only the ID card in that box. The housebook is not there. There was silence for another 2 seconds. Look again. I've looked for it. There's none. How is that possible? Her voice changed. Maybe Dad kept himself back then? I said, I have something to do in the afternoon, so let's talk about the Housing Management Bureau another day. Chica. I hung up the phone. A man in a suit came out of the housing authority. He glanced at me, nodded, and walked over. I didn't know him. But as I stood there, something suddenly occurred to me. The lawyer my dad found, Chen Wenxuan. I seem to have seen this name somewhere. 3. I came home, and my mother was sitting in the living room. His face looks ugly. You said the house was not found? Yes. I asked you to look for your ID card yesterday, just for the housebook. Did you look for it? Mom, I've been looking for it all morning. There are only a few things in the box. It's impossible for your father to take the housebook to another place. She said, that's the only house in our family. Maybe he didn't let you see it after you finished it? She looked at me. Your dad told me back then that the housebooks should be kept at home. I nodded. That's why I didn't find it. She stared at me for a long time. Okay. She stood up. Look again. If you can't find me, go to the attic with you. Good. I go back to the room. Close the door. Sit down. My palms were sweaty. I never talked back to her. For 18 years, I did whatever she said. Because she is my mother. Because she said, it's not easy for Mom to pull you all by herself. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. From today on, it will be different. I turn on my phone. Search Lawyer Chen Wenxuan on Baidu. Jump out of the law firm's website. Chen Wenxuan, senior partner. Practice for 30 years. Areas of expertise, inheritance, trust establishment, family law. The office address is in the city. I looked at his picture. A man in his 50s, wearing glasses and with a gentle expression. I clicked on the performance column again. There is a line below the name, providing long-term wealth protection and intergenerational inheritance solutions for high net worth families. After I finished reading, I closed my phone. My dad is not an ordinary person. What he does, I don't really know. All I know is that he used to travel all the time. Bring toys when you come back. The year he left, he brought me a Barbie doll. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. That was the last time I saw him. He disappeared the next day. Mom called the police. The police came several times. Several uncles and aunts came to visit. Later, there was no news. I remember one time I asked my mother, when will dad come back? Mom squatted down and hugged me. Jisha, dad may not come back. Why? Dad is a bad guy. He lied to mom. He ran away with another woman. I was 8 years old at the time. I remember I cried, wow, immediately. Mom also cried. We both held each other and cried for a long time. Then 3 months later, my stepfather moved in. He was carrying a suitcase. Mom said, Jisha, this is Uncle Wang. He will visit us often in the future. Half a year later, my mother told me that she was going to marry Uncle Wang. But Dad, your dad isn't coming back. Is Dad still outside? He doesn't want us anymore. There are many questions I want to ask. I didn't even ask, because Mom will cry. When I cry, I don't dare to speak. 10 years have passed. I always thought that my dad was a heartless man. I always thought that it would be difficult for my mother to support me alone. I always thought that my stepfather was a help in times of need to our family. Until this afternoon. On the scanned copy from the Housing Authority, Dad's handwriting. Violators will be investigated according to law by Mr. Chen Wenxuan, the guardianship lawyer appointed by me. It's not like it was written by a man who was about to run off with another woman. This sounds like it was written by a man who knew he might not come back. 4. I lived in a cubicle for 10 years. This compartment turned out to be a balcony. I lived in the room next to the master bedroom until I was 5 years old. After Dad disappeared, Mom said that room was empty and wasted. You live in the smaller one, and let Uncle stay in that room when he comes. I moved to the one next door, 7 square meters. After my stepbrother was born, he couldn't even keep the 7 square meters. Jixia, Xiaolei is my younger brother and he needs a children's room. You live in the room with the balcony and Mom will buy you new furniture. I was 10 years old that year. The balcony is converted into a partition for square meters.
A bed.
A table. There was no window. Oh no, it turned out to be the window on the balcony. Later, my mother thought it was leaky and replaced it with a piece of frosted glass. From then on, there was no sunlight in my room. I didn't resist. Because whenever I say something, my mother will say, your father's gone, and this is the condition of the family. Your brother is still young. Please be more considerate. You are the elder sister. If you don't give way to your brother, who will? When I was in elementary school, the family ate at the table. Stepfather gives meat to stepbrother. Mom serves soup to her stepbrother. Stepfather said, Jixia, you should eat more vegetables to supplement your vitamins. Mom said, that's right, girls should eat more vegetables. They laughed and pushed the braised pork in front of their stepbrother. The stepbrother plays with toys while eating. I sat across from me, picking vegetables. In the year of high school entrance examination, I ranked among the top 50 in the city. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Mom, I want to go to number 1 middle school. The tuition fees for the city's number 1 middle school are expensive. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. I can live on campus. Don't worry about living on campus. Mom said, you can go to number 2 middle school. It's close and saves money. I want to go to number 1 middle school. At this time, the stepfather spoke. Jixia, your mother is right. Girls can study well enough. Mom nodded. It will cost money for your brother to attend cram school in the future. Don't put a burden on the family. I didn't speak that day. Returned to the small room on the balcony. Closed the door. I tore up the transcript. Later, I went to number 2 middle school. During my 3rd year of high school, I got up at 6 in the morning, study at night, and go home at 10 o'clock. When I got home, my stepbrother was playing games in the living room. My stepfather was sitting next to me watching TV. Mom came out of the kitchen. Jixia is back. The food is in the pot. Heat it up yourself. I go to the kitchen. In the pot is their leftover food. The bottom of the braised pork plate, there is no meat left. Just a little soup left. I heated the rice, poured the soup over it, and it was a meal. I haven't told anyone this. My classmates thought my house was in good condition, a house of more than 120 square meters. My teacher thinks my stepfather is very good to me. He occasionally comes to parent-teacher meetings and smiles very kindly. No one knows that I really ate leftovers for 10 years. No one knows that when I was in my senior year of high school, I worked in a convenience store, earning 1,800 yuan a month and saving more than 10,000 yuan. That is my college entrance examination fee, review materials fee, and future travel expenses. Mom occasionally asked, let Mom keep the money you work for, so that you don't spend it all. I keep it myself. You kid knows how to save money. I understand. She said nothing more, because she doesn't know that I save money for one day. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. 5. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. My stepbrother is watching TV. Mom was sitting on the sofa peeling an apple. How did you do on the exam? Good. What's the estimate? 603. Mom's hand paused. Stepfather raised his head. 603? With this score. My stepfather looked at my mother. I can go to a good school. It's very good. Mom said, this child has been smart since he was a child. There was no expression on her face. Jixia, Mom put down the apple. Mom wants to discuss something with you. I looked at her. Is it okay to go to a local university? What's the meaning? You also know the conditions of our family. If you study abroad, the tuition, living expenses, and travel expenses will be huge. The local university is very good. It's close to home, and you can help your mother take care of your brother. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. The stepbrother turned his head and looked back at the TV. I stood in the middle of the living room. 18 years. I didn't ask them for a penny. During my senior year of high school, I worked on my own, paid the college entrance examination registration fee myself, and bought my own review materials. They never asked. I went to college elsewhere and didn't need a penny from them. I had a scholarship and my own money. I want something. Walk. I want to go to Beijing Normal University. Beijing. Stepfather frowned. No, Mom said directly. Why? Too far. I have a scholarship, so I don't have to pay any money for my family. It's not about money. Mom said. Mom doesn't trust you alone. Mom, don't worry. Stepbrother will stay home alone playing games until midnight. Mom's face changed. Jixia, what do you mean? I said nothing. Stepfather stood up. Jixia, how do you talk to your mother? I told her the truth. What happened to your kid today? I didn't do anything. I looked at him. I just want to go to college. You can also go to local universities. Mom said, don't even think about it in Beijing. Why can't you think about it? It won't work if Mom says it can't be done. I laughed. Mom. I've already filled it out. Silence. 1 second. 2 seconds. Have you filled out the form? When? Last month. Which school did you apply for? Beijing Normal University. Who asked you to fill it in? Myself. Can you do this yourself? Can. Mom slammed the apple on the coffee table. Lin Jixia. It was the first time she called me that. Usually she is called Jixia. When he called Lin Jixia, she was really angry. You're an 18-year-old kid and you're filling out college by yourself? I'm 18 years old. 18-year-old is also a child. I looked at her. Mom, I said, I am 18 years old and legally an adult. It is my business to fill in the application form and you do not need to sign it. She froze. Stepfather said, Jixia, let's discuss it carefully. Nothing to discuss. Then what will happen to your future tuition fees? I'll figure it out myself. Where did you get the money? I earned it from working part-time during my senior year of high school, plus a scholarship. You work? Mom glared. You work behind my back? Mom, I said, you know I work part-time, and you asked me to keep the money for you. She was stunned for a moment. Then how much do you have now? Mom. Tell the truth to Mom. $14,000. That's it. What can I do with this little money in Beijing? Enough for 1 semester. Then what? Then I'll work again. She stared at me. Jixia, do you feel that your family owes you? I smiled a little. No. In the past 10 years, my family has not let you go hungry or freeze. We have provided you with education, food, and clothing. It will not be easy for me when your father is gone. I know. Then you're leaving like this? Yes. If you leave, don't come back. I nodded. Good. 1 word. I turned back to my balcony cabin. Close the door. Sit on the edge of the bed. I turn on my phone. Baidu once again searched for lawyer Chen Wenshuan. Click on the firm's contact information. Called it. Hello, Wenshuan Law Firm. I'm looking for lawyer Chen Wenshuan. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. I am Lin Jixia, Lin Jianhong's daughter. There was silence on the other end of the phone for a few seconds. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Wait a moment. The music played for 30 seconds. It was a man's voice that answered. His voice was steady. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Yes. I've been waiting for this call from you for 10 years. 6. Lawyer Chen asked me to come over the next afternoon. I didn't tell my family. I went out early the next morning. Talk about a class reunion. I took the bus to Lawyer Chen's office. On the 12th floor of an office building in the city center. I pushed the door open. The girl at the front desk glanced at me. Hello, who are you? Lin Jixia, Lawyer Chen. Lawyer Chen is waiting for you. Conference room. Please follow me. The conference room is at the end of the corridor. She knocked on the door. Push away. A man in his 50s stood up. Wear glasses. Hair half white. He looked at me. You look like your dad. I said nothing. Tears came up all of a sudden. Sit. He pointed to the chair opposite. I sit down. He pushed a glass of water over. Where do you want to start? I take a deep breath. Housebook. Have you seen the housebook? I saw it. What about the housing authority's additional terms? Saw it too. He nodded. Then you know your father gave the house to you a month in advance. What do you think this means? I looked at him. My dad knew something might happen to him. Yes, he said. He knows. What happened to him? Lawyer Chen opened his briefcase. Get out a brown paper bag. He pulled a report from the bag. Hand it to me. Look at this first. I took it. On the cover it says, Traffic accident liability determination letter. Date, April 12th, 2016. Victim, Lin Jianhong. Nature of the accident. Party A is solely responsible. Treatment result, death. My hands are shaking. D. I read it again. April 12th, 2016. I read it a second time. That was the 29th day after my dad disappeared. Uncle Chen, I raise my head. What is this? Your father's car accident appraisal certificate. Isn't he missing? He is not missing. Lawyer Chen looked at me. He died in a car accident on April 12th, 2016. My mind buzzed. But your mother keeps telling you that he's missing? I nodded. Lawyer Chen sighed. He took out another item from his briefcase. It's a copy of the police file. Your mother has been reported missing since March 15th, 2016. She refused to cooperate with the police investigation. On April 12th, 2016, your father had a car accident on the Benhai Expressway, a bicycle accident, and died on the spot. The police couldn't contact the family that day, but later they found your mother. Your mother went to identify the body. Then she did something. He paused. She asked the police to cremate your father in the name of an unidentified person. My fingers are cold. What's the meaning? The police originally wanted to find the family members to confirm the death information and register the death. Your mother told the police she wasn't sure it was her husband. The body was badly burned and the face was disfigured. She said, my husband hasn't come back yet, and this guy doesn't look like him. Then the police followed procedures and waited for family members to confirm for 72 hours. If no one claimed the person, they treated him as an unidentified person. That is to say, your father's death was not registered. Legally, he is still missing. My eyes went dark for a while. Then what? Then in 2021, that is 5 years later, Lawyer Chen said, your mother went to the court to apply for a declaration of death. The reason is the husband has been missing for 5 years. The court ruled that she was dead. As a legal spouse, she inherited the remaining 4 million assets in your father's name. Then she and her current partner registered their marriage. I'm speechless. I lowered my head. I feel like my heart is beating very fast. Uncle Chen. She identified the body. Right? She knew my dad was dead. She knows. She hid it from me for 10 years. She kept the secret from you for 10 years. I looked up. Why did she hide it from me? Lawyer Chen was silent for a long time. Because, he said, if you knew your dad was killed in a car accident, you would have access to the police files. Once you access the police files, you will find out one thing dash. 24 hours before the car accident, your dad answered a phone call. I called him. I told him that day that your stepfather, Wang Mingliang. During the 6 months he was on business trip, he checked into hotels in this city 3 times. The other person who registered the room card is your mother. After your dad answered that phone call, he had a car accident the next day. The conference room was extremely quiet. I hear myself breathing. Uncle Chen. I heard my own voice very slowly. My dad's car accident. Bicycle accident. Bicycle accident. I repeat. Did he lose control of himself? The traffic police determined that it was fatigue driving. But Dash, Lawyer Chen looked at me. Your dad called me at 2 o'clock in the morning that day. He said he was leaving your mother. He said he was going home to pick you up. He said he has transferred all the properties to your name. The liquid funds have been transferred to the trust, and he wants to take you away. He said the last thing, Dash. Wen Xuan, if something happens to me, help me take care of Jixia. Lawyer Chen's voice trembled. Then at 4 o'clock the next morning, his car crashed down the guardrail of the Marina Expressway. One person. Late night. A section of road that is not monitored. I lowered my head. My tears dropped on that traffic accident certificate. 1 drop. 2 drops. Uncle Chen. Do you have any evidence? What happened with my dad, my stepfather, and my mom? Do you have any evidence? Lawyer Chen took out a USB flash drive from his briefcase. This was taken by a private detective 3 months before your father's accident. He has suspected your mother for a long time. This USB flash drive contains room booking records, check-in videos, and recordings of their conversations between your mother and Wang Mingliang at 4 hotels in the city. One more thing, Dash. He pulled out a photo. Black and white. Obstetrics department of a hospital. In the photo, Wang Mingliang is holding a woman. That woman is my mother. My mother has a big belly. When is this? October 2014. 2014? Wang Xiaolei, your brother, was born in January 2015. I gasped. Isn't he his stepfather's son? He is. But at that time, your mother hadn't divorced your father yet. In October 2014, your mother was pregnant with Wang Xiaolei and went to the obstetrics department. She registered for a prenatal checkup. The person accompanying her was Wang Mingliang. She was 6 months pregnant with him at that time. Wang Xiaolei is actually your father. No. Lawyer Chen paused. Wang Xiaolei is Wang Mingliang's son. He is the son of your mother and Wang Mingliang. I gave birth while your father was still alive. To your father, she said that Wang Xiaolei was a child fostered by relatives. At that time, do you remember this? I remember. I'm 9 years old. There was a period of time that year when there was an additional baby in the family. Mom said, it's my aunt's child. My aunt is going to be hospitalized, so she will be kept at our house for a while. At that time, I thought this brother was quite cute. Later, the aunt was discharged from the hospital and the brother never appeared again. Half a year after my dad disappeared, my stepfather lived in. My stepfather has this younger brother with him. Mom said, Jixia, this will be your brother from now on. It turns out that my dad has been kept in the dark. Right? Was he already the stepfather at that time? It has been a long time ago. Lawyer Chen said, your mother and Wang Mingliang have been together since 2012. When is 2012? You're 6. My dad is still fine. Right. I lowered my head. My teeth bit my lip. Uncle Chen. What do I do? What do you want to do? I looked up. I'm going to make them pay. Lawyer Chen looked at me. He nodded. Good. Your father entrusted me with a trust of 12 million yuan, and I haven't touched a penny in the past 10 years. He also left a handwritten letter and a video. He knew your mother would try to grab these things. So he left a button in his will. What buckle? Lawyer Chen smiled. This button, when you are ready, we will open it together. You have to do one thing first. What's up? Go back and let them reveal their true colors. How to show it? All you need to do, said Lawyer Chen, is tell them about the property ownership certificate. Say what? Say you know the house book only has your name on it. But Dash, he emphasized, you tell them that you are willing to sign and give them the house. If you say this, your mother will ask you to sign. Your stepfather will ask you to sign. They'll all make you sign. Because they have been waiting for this day for 18 years. You sign, but before you sign, I want them to sign something first. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. He handed it to me. I looked down. The title reads, Statement of voluntarily giving up all inheritance rights and related rights and interests in Lin Jianhong's name. 7. I came out of Chen Law Firm. There are many cars on the road. It was already dark. I stood on the side of the road, waiting for the traffic light. There are a few more things in my school bag. A traffic accident certificate. A police file. A USB flash drive containing room opening records and recordings. An obstetrical photo. A sample of the statement of relinquishment of inheritance rights given to me by Lawyer Chen. Besides, a box that Lawyer Chen gave me before he left. Your father left it to you, he said. He said he would give it to you personally when you turn 18. The box is made of wood. Locked. The key hangs around my neck. Lawyer Chen said, go home and start again. One more thing. He said, your father's video, will, and 12 million trust are his trump cards. We will wait for an opportunity to play this trump card. Wait for the moment when your mother and stepfather completely break up. How can we make them break up? You go home and tell your mother that you know about the house ownership book. Are you willing to transfer the house to your stepfather? Will she agree? She will say yes with her life. I nodded. Uncle Chen. I have a question. Ask. My mom Dash, I paused. She knew my dad was dead. She hid it from me for 10 years. Is she doing this just for money? Lawyer Chen looked at me for a long time. Chica. Your mother is not a bad person. She's just a selfish person who allows herself to believe she's right. She told herself that she hid it from you for your own good. She told herself that she married Wang Mingliang to give you a complete family. She told herself that after your father died, she accepted that he was gone so that she could survive. She told herself that the reason for touching your father's inheritance is because she has raised you for 10 years, so it's natural. She believed in those reasons. So she felt like she was right. It's useless for you to talk about feelings with such a person. You can only expose her completely. He paused. Let everyone see it. When I got home, it was 8 o'clock in the evening. Stepfather and stepbrother are eating. Mom saw me and said nothing. I walked over to the dining room table. Mom, I said, I want to talk to you and Uncle Wang. I call him Uncle Wang, not Dad. For the first time in 10 years. Mom was stunned for a moment. Stepfather put down his chopsticks. What's up? I sit down. It's about the house. Mom's face changed. What did you say? House book. Did you find it? I found it. Where? In the attic. Why didn't you take it out? I saw it. 3 words. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Mom was frozen there. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. What did you see? My mother said. House book. Only my name is on it. The living room is extremely quiet. The stepbrother picked up his rice, looked up, and then lowered his head. Mom smiled. Jixia, Mommy will explain this to you. Mom, I interrupted her. I don't want to listen to explanations. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. I want to tell you and Uncle Wang something. I looked at them both. I want to go to the housing authority tomorrow to transfer the house to Uncle Wang's name. The air froze. The stepfather was stunned. Mom was stunned. The stepbrother raised his head. Sister, what did you say? Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later, that's all we know. Mom's reaction comes first. A smile slowly appeared on her face. Jixia, have you figured it out? I nodded. I figured it out. Mom knows that my daughter is the most sensible. She stood up, came over, and took my hand. How Uncle Wang has treated you in the past 10 years, and how Mom has treated you in the past 10 years, you know in your heart. This house was originally meant for the family. Transfer the ownership to your dad. Your Uncle Wang, that's okay. We are all a family. Your brother will also rely on this house to study and get married. She is a family at every turn. I looked at her. Mom, I have a condition. You say. Uncle Wang wants to sign something before I go to the housing authority tomorrow. Stepfather frowned. Sign what? Renouncing all property inheritance rights and related interests in my father's name. Silence. What? Asked stepfather. In addition to real estate, there should be some savings and the like in my dad's name. I said, I want to put all my dad's things in my own name. The house is transferred to you. But my dad's other things belong to me. My dad left this to me. There was a complicated expression on Mom's face. My dad's stuff. What else does your dad have? I have no idea. Then why are you signing this? Just in case. I said, Uncle Wang, what do you think? Stepfather looked at me. There was a glint in his eyes. Isn't this when you take off your pants and fart? He laughed. Zhixia, your dad owns nothing except this house. That's better. Nothing. You want me to sign a waiver? Right. What's the point? It's just a matter of form, I said. I'll go to the housing authority tomorrow, and the transfer procedures must be completed together. The lawyer said that both parties must make a statement to each other so that there will be no disputes in the future. Lawyer? Stepfather's eyebrows moved. Yeah. I asked a classmate's father. He is a lawyer. Stepfather looked at Mom. Mom nodded. Zhixia is doing it for your own good. What about you? My stepfather asked my mother. You also sign? Well, I said, Mom wants to sign one too. Mom was stunned. Should I sign too? Right. What do I sign? Same statement. I said, Mom, you're my dad's ex-wife. You declared missing 5 years ago and inherited an inheritance of $4 million. I went to the lawyer today about this matter, and he said that strictly speaking, the $4 million must be distributed to me because I am the first heir. But I looked at her. I don't care about the $4 million. So I also want you to sign a statement, giving up your inheritance rights to all the property in my father's name. The $4 million will be yours. It's reasonable. Mom's face turned white and red. Zhixia, why are you today? Mom, I said, don't you sign? You can sign a dash, she smiled. But isn't this unnecessary? Mom has almost spent the $4 million already. Just treat it as a formality. You kid, where did you hire a lawyer to do it in such a formal way? We know each other from school, I said. My classmates who have rich families do this. It seems like they know the rules. Stepfather laughed. Okay, he said, it's interesting. Let's also do some knowing the rules. I'll go with you tomorrow to sign and transfer the property. Uncle Wang, I said, there's no need to go to the housing authority. Just sign the declaration at home. Then we go to the housing authority together. I'll transfer the house to you. Just sign it. Stepfather looked at Mom again. Mom smiled. Okay, just do what Zhixia said. Yeah. Stepfather nodded. Then let's. Tomorrow. I said, I'll print out the statement and you can sign it at noon tomorrow. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. That's right. Mom nodded. Tomorrow at noon. I said. I stood up and went back to my balcony cabin. Close the door. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error. Please try again later. That's all we know. Open the win box that lawyer Chen gave me. Error 500, server error. 1500, that's an error. There was an error.